Ati, your husband is dead. He
Aye.
just throws it at me like that. So
My
that is
husband's
how, that is how,
Kanjalo.
Nje, kanjalo nje. So that is how I found out that I had lost my husband. There's always someone at home. Yeah. So she's there with me Saturday. We decide let's go to church on Sunday. Wake up in the morning, get ready. We drive to church. As we're driving, I'm busy responding to messages the last night that I didn't see. I'm a passenger, safety belt on, she's driving. Next thing I hear her screaming. And indlela yakhona is so narrow. It's like, it's just 2 lanes. Motezizayo, nathi abambayo. I hear her screaming. As I lift up my head, all I see is red. The car that was coming towards us. No, it wasn't red, it was grey. I think it was grey. All I see is that color, and it was already in. Boom, I'm out.
Sanmanani. Welcome everyone. Okay, today we are seated with a young, beautiful lady. Her name is Ruby Makhubela. Hello, Sis Ruby.
Hello, Sis Prawns, how are you?
I'm blessed, and how are you?
Fantastic, thank you. Listen to us calling ourselves sis.
I love that, sis Ruby.
You know?
I love it. I am a sis.
Yes, yeah.
Are you well?
I'm awesome, thanks. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm loving the dress.
Thank you so
It's a
much.
beautiful dress.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming through.
Yeah?
Thank you for coming through
Thank
to
you for having me.
Wabodla with Pruneke Town. So we are here. We are here to bodla.
Eish,
We are here to bodla. We are here ukuzokhuluma ukuzothetha
you know.
yonke into esifuna ukuyikhuluma
Yeah.
that we haven't shared with anyone, and we are here to say nakuwe lapho ekhaya or wherever you are, what I've been through maybe might help you.
Yeah.
So tell
Definitely.
us ukuthi ubani usis Ruby.
Sure. All right. Uruby Makhubela was born in Cape Town.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Cape Town girl.
I'm a Cape Town girl. Egugulethu, in fact. I'm
Okay.
a Gugulethu girl.
Okay.
Grew up Likhuliswa in a family home where there's umakhulu or uncle or auntie, cousins. In fact, our cousin came later because I was the first grandchild.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was the pride in
Yes.
your family. Everyone
Yes.
just, was excited to have me around, to take me with, to do everything with.
Yeah.
I think what also made it more special was that I was that girl that was in the advertising space. So I used to be a model. So appearing in magazine, Bona magazine.
Tatsawe.
I was that little girl running with the balloons, running to Granny. If anyone remembers the Bona magazine, 1982, gosh, disclosing my age, holding the balloons, running for Elna magazine and, for Elna machines and, student prints, adverts, the whole thing. So very exciting life growing up. And I think as we grow up, we think, this is what life is.
Oh, yes.
It's shiny, it's bright, it's
Yeah.
anything and everything,
Yes.
And then Ukule, I remember when I was 17, my mother fell pregnant. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I mean, I'm supposed to be an only child. Yes. I'm 17 in high school, almost in matric. I think it was my matric year even. And there was my mother. I was like, oh no, I don't like this little person coming. Unenzani. And then my brother was born and I absolutely fell in love with him. He was just my everything. He was my world, my brother. And grew up and I left Cape Town when I was, I think in 1996, 97 to pursue, this amazing life because I was in the travel trade now.
Yes.
Travel space.
Oh, okay.
I'm working for an airline.
There's something in common.
Yeah. I'm working for an airline. I come from a travel agency. They were called travel agencies at the time before they became travel management companies. So working for an airline, and I thought, nah, let me just go to Johannesburg. Let me see what ipile golide that everyone is looking for, you know. And at the time, I'm dating I would say he was my first real boyfriend, you know. And when I left, he followed. I remember I was driving my little Uno. We drove to Johannesburg, and he left me behind, and then he came again to stay with me. And that's when my first baby was born. And
Sissy, to take you back, you said when you talk about your brother, you said
yes.
was.
Yes, I'm going to that.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to that.
Okay.
So my life is happening, Kumnandi. This is now 2005. I'm thriving in Johannesburg. 2003, I got married, in fact, with my husband. My baby was born in 2000.
Yes.
So 2003, we get married. After many years of dating, you know, they just don't want to leave immediately. You know, it took 8 years for him to finally say something.
Oh.
So, yeah, we got married 2003. And then 2005, Father's Day, I am at home. I'm pregnant with my second baby girl. I was about 6.5 months pregnant. It's Father's Day in the morning, and he says, I need to go and get a mail, because we used to have a post box from the post box. I'm like, okay, remember we're having a couple's braai, you know, for Father's Day, so please don't take time.
Yeah.
Fine. We go with the girl, with my baby. I'm pregnant, remember? We go, we set up with the friends for the couple's braai. We wait. He just doesn't come back. I call him, I hear muffled voices, you know, for me, and I'm thinking he's probably sitting on his phone, he's probably on his way. We sat there until I was like, no man, it's at night now. What is happening, you know? Because he left, I think, around about 1 in the afternoon, and it was like dark now. It's getting dark, and I told my friends, "Let me go home. He'll find me when I'm at home." And then I get a call, and my cousin picks up the phone. We used to have phones ending at the time, so my cousin picks up the phone. She was living with us, and she says, "There's a policeman looking for you. Phone in." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I go, and they're like, "Hi, are you," at the time I was a different surname, "Are you Mrs.?" And I'm like, "Yes." I said, "Well, there's been an accident. Can you come through? Your husband is here, you know." And I'm thinking, it's probably a broken leg or arm, because he was a very, very careful person in that way. You know, he was one of those, he was one of those, put on his safety belts as you walk in and all of that. And I'm like, sure, no problem. Now remember, as I said, I'm from the travel trade in sales, so I know each and every street in Pretoria. You know
the back routes.
You know the back routes. You know everything. And he gives me the street, and I'm like, okay, fine. But something says, a little voice says, take your friend with you. Where we had the braai, the couple's braai. We drive through Indleleni. I start feeling a bit weak, and I suddenly, you know how your body and God, I don't know, that is just how I view it. How they normally block certain things so that you don't get that full impact. Because remember, I'm 6.5 months pregnant. I've left my 5-year-old baby at home, and I just couldn't find the street as I was getting closer to it. I knew where it was, but I didn't know where it was. So I park a garage, and I had a cell phone then. The policeman phones again, and he says, Sissy, where are you? I can't find the street. Can you come and get me? And this is how insensitive sometimes people can be. He comes to the car, he finds me there. I step out. As I step out, he can see I'm pregnant. He says, are you Mrs.? And I'm like, yes, it's me. I tell you, your husband is dead. He just throws it at me like that. So that is how. So that is how I found out that I had lost my husband. And sure, I don't know whether to say the rest is history, because there was so much that happened in between, you know the family things that happen, and it's the most saddest thing ever. And I often ask myself, is this how we dealing with our own pain, by being horrible to the next person, or kwenzakalani, because all the family issues started coming out, and this and that. I'm gonna try, and because I have a lot of sad stories. So so that was that. I lost him. We buried him. But as I was dealing with losing him,
sorry, how long were you married for when you passed on?
A year and a half.
Jesus Christ.
Because we got married in 2023 September, and he passed 2003 September, and he passed 2005 on Father's Day. So it was a year and a half. It wasn't long. Anyway, so as I was dealing with that, I think for me the most profound thing that I need to mention, and it is one of the biggest things that helped shape my life and helped me to be able to find strength within me, is that same week that my husband had passed. I think it was like on a Tuesday, because he passed on a Sunday. Tuesday, I'm in the bathroom and my heart is aching, because right now the person that I loved so dearly, he felt erased, man. Ingathi kukhumntu oze with itipex wafika wamsusa. I don't know how to express that void, that sudden void, without being prepared for it. I'm standing in a bathroom, I'm holding my chest, I'm crying, but very soft sobs, because I don't want my little one to find me crying. And as Truth Bob, she comes, she's looking for me. Mom, where are you? And I can't even answer, I can't respond, because I'm in between sobs. And she finds me in the bathroom. She opens the door, short little thing with a big head, and she's like, Mom, are you crying? Looking at me with those innocent eyes. And I'm standing there, I'm thinking, do I want my children to know and identify with pain, or do I want to hide and pretend that it is what it isn't, And I thought, let me just teach her honesty, And I said to her, I am crying, Baba. She says, why are you crying? I said, I'm crying because I'm in so much pain, I'm hurting. Dad is not here, he's gone to Jesus. Remember, we spoke about it. And she says, but I'm here.
Oh,
why are you crying? I am here. Oh my word, that made me break so badly, even worse. I held her, and like I say, I carry that through every very painful thing that I go through, the strength from Abantwana Bam, that I'm not alone. I'm not alone. So buried. My life is continuing. I have my second baby born 2 weeks after the funeral, weighing 900 grams. My blood pressure shot up so badly that I had preeclampsia. I had to deliver my baby immediately, because I was just swelling up in Jingamanzi. It was so bad. And had my baby. She fought right through. We survived. And she would not have survived because I held that doctor. I had to remember, because I was already peeing blood. I mean, my organs were giving up, so I was already peeing blood. And I held him. I said, we are not going to die. I just buried my husband 2 weeks ago. This baby and I are going to survive. So you're going to do this for us, And we survived it. We survived it. Baby born and grew up. And then I decided, no, man, I need to go home. I can't do this on my own. I need to go back home, So I went back. Remember, I'm coming from, and at the time, sorry, this is the most important thing, and these are things that we need to be cognizant of as we carry on with life. When my husband passed, when they tested his blood alcohol level, alcohol level was found to be a bit high. And
so was he drinking when you guys were preparing for bride?
No, he wasn't there. Remember, he left us as we were preparing to go and get email. But so he was drinking where he was. He was there. Remember, he took time to come back. Yes. So the blood alcohol level was so high that insurance said no, we're not paying. So I'm coming from a space where I was working, and I had stopped working because with all of that was happening, I lost my home. I lost the cars, and I basically came from being up here to go zero level again, I was at home feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel like a school kid again. Like, I have nothing. The only thing bendinayo furniture that was there, left in Pretoria, with this and that relative because I couldn't even be home when they were selling my house. You know, it was that painful. I couldn't. So my house was sold by the bank. I lost, like I said, I lost everything. I had to start afresh. There I was with this tiny little baby, sharing a baby with my aunt again, and basically sharing everything. In toiletries, you know. And I'm thinking, no, this can't be me. You know, this can't be me. But fine. I think the beauty of it all was the amount of work we put in when we work. So people in the trade knew that I was back in Cape Town. So I was then headhunted by some of the hotels. And I found a job. I started again. And now we're talking 2007, 8, 9, I'm at home. And in between, I go back to Joburg because I'm still hunting for that gold, but then I still come back again. So 2010, I decided, no man manhlale, you know, just a little bit of kaya, number for unyaka or something, let me see. In fact, this is now between 2010 and 2011. And my brother is living with us on and off. He was either a Kai, because my parents used to live a Kailija. So my brother is with us, either Guglet or a Kailija, but we saw him constantly. And I had gone back. I need to, backtrack a bit. There's a huge chunk that I've left as I'm sharing. So I did mention that I went home in 2005, right?
Yes.
2005, I went back home after my husband's funeral. I sat there, I think it was December 40. And 2006, as I'm driving back from work, because I'm working for this hotel group, I'm driving back on the highway, and who just couldn't stop waving at me, you know, as I'm driving. I'm like, what's your problem? He drops his window, he says, or I'm going to stop the traffic. I'm like, I went and was no was, so do what you want to do. Yes. I drive, I could hear cars hooting, you know, literally hooting. He stopped the car. Yeah, he stopped the car in the middle of the road so that I'm thinking this guy is crazy. So anyway, I stop at the side. I'm like, what? And then he comes. As coming close, I figure I tell the number and whatever. I give him the number. He says, can we do dinner tonight, you know, to get to know each other? Yeah, but was at Joburg. Anyway, and we meet at Joburg. Yeah. So we do dinner, only to discover that he's also widowed. He's also got 2 kids like me, same ages. And I thought we have got a plan here, you know? Yeah. So, and you know, almost the stigma, it's been so early, why you date and whatever. And people don't know the pain you go through. They don't know the pain you go through being alone until someone walks in your shoes. So so I had to deal with that stigma from family, from friends. But I think one thing I've always loved about myself is that I've never been one to really mind what people say, because I feel we all have our individual voices. Very, very true. So if you need to voice out how you feel, it's okay. Just don't step. Be bound, you know, let's keep the boundaries. So met with him, Nyani, he was amazing that first week. The second week he says, Masambi, see we party. I've got a colleagues party coming on, so let's go. So we drive to this place. It's in the evening. Ndivula sun visor to check my makeup is fine, sesifiga. Wanituka uputi. Ukuba, why the F are you doing this? You know, he got so violently angry at that moment. Yazi, do I stick around for this to stick by his opelelapi, or shame, is it me? You know most how we are. Is it me, Nyani? Did I really make him that mad? Some Nyani, I did blind him. Because he continues and he says, you're gonna effing kill us. What's your effing problem? You know, you're gonna blind me and effing kill us. How? And I thought, nobody's got a problem with the light. And I so regret, but then again, we don't regret, because everything in life is about trial and error. If you don't try it, you'll never know if it will work. Yeah. Sure. So I hung around for that, and that was the most violent relationship I was ever in, you know. Being beaten because Jonga and smiled at me. I used to walk around ijonge phansi because, you know, ndoyika. I would find panties in the car. I would find, it was the most horrible 4 years of my life. And I stuck it out for 4 years.
4 years, Sissy.
I stuck it out for 4 years. Being beaten for nothing, but kula 4 years of sticking it out, you know, you learn to realize that narcissists really do exist in life. Because with narcissists, they also have a way of drawing you in, you know. When they love, you feel absolutely loved. But when they are horrible, they are just the worst. So I think I used to sit with Indabeva, maybe he's going to change. Because he does love me. I see it. I feel it. He loves me.
He shows
you know. This man would drag me to a bathroom in front of abantwana. I twist his hand so that they don't see, you know, the beatings. And it was so horrible. So that's why in the city I used to float back and forth between that period, 2007 and 10, because it was survival mode. I had to survive somehow. But when he came looking for me, he would find me, and then I'll come back and be with him again, you know. Until I decided, 2010, but this is it. I'm leaving him. Let me go home and prepare myself to go back to Joburg. Yes, to go back to Joburg. So I'm at home, have this loving relationship again with my brother. Remember, we're 17 years apart. So now I'm starting to get to know him, you know. He's now this vibey 17-year-old Naye. We're doing things together. My friends invite me to go somewhere, I'll drag him with, you know. And one day I was out at an event, and I remember I didn't sleep at home that day. I slept at the hotel, and I started feeling sick, like violently sick. My body was aching. I felt nauseous. There was just very funny things happening to myself, and I didn't understand my bones again. And the thing just carried on and on, I think for about 20-30 minutes, and I just could not sort myself out because I didn't know what to do. And then I got a call from Ekaya, you need to come back home now. I'm like, why? You need to come back home, we need you now. I get home, I get told my brother was walking home and he was stabbed and murdered by some guys in jail on his way home, 17. So my feeling was, that moment that I was feeling so violently sick, he was probably going through that whole thing, and he was, you know, he probably lost his life at that moment. So that was my second tragic moment, and that for me was just the pits, because, like I say, my brother was my world, you know. He basically grew up as my child. He was like my firstborn, and we were starting to do things now. We were fun. It was fun, you know. I had my brother with me. I'm talking about someone when I didn't have petrol money. He would say, okay, I'll make a plan. And then I'll find out, you know, for the manbene petrol. He was that selfless person, my brother. So, yeah, so I lost him. This is now 2011. And
were ababulali bakhe captured with the sentence? Was it did you receive a justice as the family, or what happened?
Crazy justice, though. We went, well, I chose not to go. My parents went and my uncle to the first appearance at court. And yeah, me, Swapat Bakulula, you know, they were walking freely in jail for quite a while. And my mother is a huge praying woman. She prays, and she prayed about it. She prayed about it day and night. I think the Zange Pele Nonyaka, or year and a half, they had either killed each other, or whatever, but they had all perished by the end of. There were about 5 of them, I believe.
Why was he killed? Did you even find out? Was it robbery or jealousy?
I can never tell you. I can never tell you.
Jesus.
I can never tell you. I don't
17-year-old.
17-year-old. And the sweetest person. My brother's like me, utanda fun places. He just wants to laugh. He wants, you know, there has to be in German that vibe. So we kept on asking ourselves, but we couldn't get to the top, you know, to the bottom of it, about what could have been the situation. So yeah, that was that. I've now, and then, like I say, at when I left Uputi between 2010-11, I then had friends that were working at divorce court. They were like, hey, when I get rid of this immediately, because you're gonna die. because even after I'd left him, he would still stalk me. You know, he would want to find Bali PN. So they assisted. I ended up divorcing him. That's how we then parted ways.
This is the
This is number 2, the one who used to.
Oh, you married the
We
second
ended
guy?
up being married.
Oh.
We ended up like 4-year stint. But in marriage year 2 was like a 9-month thing. Oh, because it was a 9-month. Sorry, my stories are going because they somehow flow in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got married. When was it? 2010, and 9 months. My friends were like, "No, get rid of this," and I left him. After 9 months, and then losing my brother, and then I decided it's time for Joburg again. I need to restart. I need to restart. So fast forward 2013, I'm in Joburg, Kumnandi. I just got a job again, headhunted, you know, and yay, nice. I moved first, 2013. I moved first in March to sort myself out, so that I sort out the kids as well. And I start looking for schools. I find a school, and I'm like, okay, I'll move them in June.
Yeah.
So in June they came. We're living in our little apartment. It's my 2 kids, my 2 cousins that I took with me to stay with us. And nice. They moved June, and then I start thinking, no man, we're in a 2-bedroom space. Let's find a proper place. Yeah. So we ended up, I found a place in Kempton Park. So now I'm moved to Kempton Park. I live there, beautiful home, Kumnandi, and everyone's got their own room. Kumnandi, you know. We have dogs. Yes, you know, we have dogs, Mogo. It's like a home proper. And I'm now traveling in and out of the country. Kumnandi, everything is really working out.
God keeps on showing up.
All the time. And that's the thing about him. So Kumnandi, 2014, I decide, no man, I need to move from here, because again, travel, we don't stay in one place, you know. you want to put your foot here, there, everywhere.
You want to work for everyone.
So I decided, no man, let me run a business, you know. Let me organize events. Let me do this. So now I'm doing my business, Kumnandi, again, traveling, doing this thing. This is now 2014. 2014 September, I'm at home with my friend. She came to visit. Kwamge, if you know. I'm the entertainer. There's always someone at home. Yeah. So she's there with me Saturday. We decide, let's go to church on Sunday. Wake up in the morning, get ready. We drive to church. As we're driving, I'm busy responding to messages the last night that I didn't see. I'm a passenger, safety belt on, she's driving. Next thing I hear her screaming. And indlela yakhona is so narrow. It's like, it's just 2 lanes. Motezizayo, nathi abambayo. I hear her screaming. As I lift up my head, all I see is red. The car that was coming towards us. No, it wasn't red, it was grey. I think it was grey. All I see is that colour, and it was already in. Boom, I'm out. Next thing I hear, Ingati, I'm in a drum, man. I can't hear kakle, you know. It's smoking in the car. And I guess it's from the impact, and there's just people running towards the car, but everything is like in slow motion, you know. I'm trying to lift my hand, either the window or the door, my hand drops because sipukile, but I didn't know at the time.
So now you're involved in a car accident?
Car accident, head on. That's the grey I was seeing, the car that was approaching.
It was the last time you saw it?
Yeah, that's the last thing I saw, and I'm out again. The next thing I hear people banging, you know, the window. Hang in there, you're gonna be fine. And I'm feeling my mouth filling. I'm thinking, is this water? You know, and I blow it out, and it's just blood. I'm trying to talk, my tongue is hanging, but it's not completely off. It's just I bit it so hard, the impact, and there's blood dripping all over. I'm thinking, what just happened? And then I'm out again. You know, I'm in and out every few seconds. And then I feel someone says, we're going to cut the car to get you out. And then I feel a sheet on me, you know. But I don't know what's happening. The next thing I'm out, don't sleep, try not sleep. Please try and be up. We're going to put you on a helicopter and one next out. Open my eyes, I'm now in hospital. And utuga kwam, dibona a needle going up and down my face, they sawing my face. And I'm thinking, what is happening? But to cut the story short, we were involved in a head-on collision. Someone didn't want to wait. They overtake a bend, and they drove into us. Motor was so bad. I had my left and right foot and leg on the left was broken. My kneecap totally shattered. My whole left side had scars and bruises and everything, you know. I had fractures and shit all over. And I'm thinking, okay,
you are
what now?
in the car.
We were two. I need my friends driving. I'm a passenger. And I still thank God because my little one, my baby, wanted to come with to church. And then as we were leaving, she says, no, I want to watch cartoons. You can leave me. So, you know, I never want to think about it. My friend was fine. She had 4 stitches on her left foot. Remember, Ilento, what the body does when you see that survival thing. So if it's coming towards you, instinct is, let me swerve, you know, to the other side. So that's how is mostly on my side. So yeah, had to deal with that. Was in hospital for months. Girl, been in hospital for months, and now I find out my left leg doesn't work properly. It just would not bend, you know. I'm on a wheelchair. Thinking, wheelchair? Will I ever walk? I'm on a wheelchair. My lower back is messed up.
I'm a business person.
You know,
I need to
how
be
does
mobile.
this work? And also, my other thing is, how are we going to survive? Because now I'm running my business, and I just started. It's not like I have imali, you know. I've got this amazing home. What happens to it? So anyway, there I was going for physio for almost that year, the whole year almost, going for physio to help me walk again, to be off this wheelchair. And I remember gambling with God this one time, saying, Yehovah, if you can make me walk again, I promise you, no one who needs a wheelchair will never not have a wheelchair. I will make a plan to ensure they have wheelchairs, because especially what happens is, if you are that injured, they will not just leave you mobile. You need to have a wheelchair or crutches or anything to assist you. So that's why I gambled with him. I made a commitment to him that I will have this organization that will take care of abantu bantu that need wheelchairs. So that's how Wheels to Hope was born. I started an NPO called Wheels to Hope, which assists abantu that need wheelchairs, crutches, anything to give them dignity, you know, to be able to be mobile. So that was that. And again, a period of learning to win my life back again, because I had to win my life back again. I had to walk, I had to also battling with the bank ifuna indlu yayo, and summons and this and your sales skills come out, you know, because now you learn to, let me write to the CEO, the CFO, the don of the bank, let me include everybody and just give them my story. And all my subject lento would be quick emails. I'm pleading for your human heart, because that is all we have.
I'm pleading for your human heart.
I will say what the story is, what happened to me, but I will have the money, you know, that road accident fund will pay me, so I'll sort out my debt, you know. And I think that's how I managed to not pay for my house for 5 years with that particular bank.
For 5 years?
For 5 years. They waited for me.
Look at God.
So fast forward, having dealt with that again, and this is now 2017. I'm fast forwarding. 2017, I'm still at my house. I'm Gapumi, and I still had not paid for it. I'm still going through that phase, you know. I still need to pay for the bank, and yeah. I'm with my friends again at home. I'm cooking because I love to cook, and they say, "Hi man, masiso wetu this time. We're always at your house. You know, it's a long weekend. It's that weekend in April, May. Masami siso wetu." I'm like, okay, Masami, but I wasn't really willing to go. But then we ended up going. We go to Soweto, Nyani Bimnandi, and I'd been praying for a partner at the time. You know, saying, "I'm so lonely. I can't do this. I can't be changing bulbs alone. I can't be, you know, I need a partner, a loving partner, and I will tell about what kind of partner that I need. I need partner NJ that's going to be loving to my kids, etc. And I remember Sepaka at this Chisanyama with my friends, and this guy is standing there, by the rails, and I'm dancing, and as I turn, I see this tall, dark man standing there, and he blows a kiss. He blows a kiss, and I'm like, hi, don't blow kisses. Come, give me a hug. You can't do that, forward self. My forward self. He comes, and as he's coming closer, I'm like, "Guy, you're such a giraffe." And he was tall. Comes, gives me a hug, and that is how I met my husband that day.
Oh, wow. That's a nice story.
We met, and we fell absolutely in love that day. The first day we met, he was so kind. He was just everything I thought I would never find in a man again, And Eyake was just times 1,000 times. And the sincerity in him and in everything that he was as well. And, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Anyway, we dated, and from the first time we dated, the first thing he said was, "I'm gonna marry you," So I was so sure of it from the word go that it's gonna happen, because he was never a man who would just say, "Jay," he was a man of his word. And we dated, we went through our own things, but loving things, man, we took pictures, we took videos. It was almost like we knew, but our lives were never going to be for long, We documented each and every thing. He loved my children, they were his. After dating for 2 years, we then decided, let's buy a house, let's buy a house, So by then I had already sold the Kempton Park house, etc. And we decided, let's go halfies, we bought the house together, and we really made it an amazing home. This is now 2019. The kids came over, they loved him, he was our life. He didn't like my dogs, because he never liked dogs, but he ended up loving my dogs, and he had a special favorite one, Footy, it was 5 dogs, and we had to negotiate, and he was like, no, it has to be 3, we can't take 5 dogs. So we lived, and 2019 we moved in, like I say, had an amazing home. 2020, COVID. So just before COVID, we had already decided let's go and sign rather before, because we could hear about when's again the COVID.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So fortunately, before the country closed, two days before the country closed, we were given a day to go and sign. So we went, we signed, we decided, we'll see after, this whole thing, because no one knew how long it was going to take for COVID. So fine. We got married 2020 March, and then they closed the country. I think that is the time that God closed the country for us, so that we're there for each other. We learn and just give off utando lwethu to each other. When a person says, "I've never been loved until I met him," that is what I felt. We used to cook together. We used to do, when people were divorcing and breaking up, and Tina, we just had the time of our lives. We were all like one unit, 2020, 2021. 2021, he had COVID 2020, and then I also had COVID, but I healed from home. He had to go to hospital, and then he came back again. And then 2021, just as they opened the country, we then decided to have our own traditional wedding. I get a call from a man of God, on the 17th of December. And he says to me, "There's something bad that's coming."
So it's a prophecy.
Yeah. He says, "I see a lot of people, Guako, there's something bad happening. Coming." I said, "You didn't tell me. Did you know I didn't?" Ati, you didn't tell me there'll be people kwako, but I need to tell you, I need to warn you. And then I'm like, hey, come, come pray for us, do whatever you need to do. He comes Nyami that morning. It was the 25th of December. He prays with us, for us. He prays, he anoints the house, he does everything that he should. And we have our traditional wedding, and that was that. On the 31st of December, 5 days after, my husband starts complaining of pain on his right-hand side. And I'm like, what's wrong? I don't know what it is, but it's fine. Because he used to love to braai. We braai 31st, and pain just gets worse. And then I had to rush him to hospital.
This is 2021.
2021 December, 31st December. So Tina, when everyone was busy celebrating the 31st, they busy tending to him, and they couldn't see what was wrong with him. This thing went on and on and on and on, throughout 2022. And it started getting worse and worse, and sometimes it's better. So he was in hospital for a few days, then he'll be back, or he'll be in hospital for 2 weeks and then he'll be back. And then fast forward to last year, 2023, and it was still in and out of hospital since 2022. He goes in, he comes out, it's still normal. But now he starts getting worse complications, his feet are swelling up, he can't breathe, he's now using a machine at home, oxygen tank at home, and he was just deteriorating, and no one could tell what was wrong with him. First it was, we think it's the liver, we think it's the lungs, it's affecting his heart, it was just, puzzling. And then 2023 njalo, March, he's admitted, and he's in the general ward, but they move him to ICU. He's still fine, struggling to breathe, they're draining amanzi emzimbeni. And the one day I walk in and I see my husband in this huge mask, and Ingati is just struggling to breathe, and everyone is on top of him. There's sounds and everyone is just running to him. I lose it, because what is happening now, He was fine, he should have been drained a man's really back at home. And the doctor says, you need to go. We're gonna do what we have to do. We're gonna have to intubate him. Wati, please expect anything tonight. And I said, no, never. He said, expect anything tonight. I remember leaving the hospital. I never slept. The phone was next to me. I cried the whole night because I was like, Yehovah, not again. I'm not gonna go through another loss. I'm not, and especially not with this man. Not with this one. And to cut it short, my husband was intubated. He had a thing in his mouth. He was breathing a machine, and they eventually moved it to his throat. He was in ICU for 6 months, on and off, in coma. And he on and off a coma. And imagine lying on your back for 6 months, and every day to try and lighten up his spirits, because we were very playful, I have moments when I think of he'll wake up from bed and uyavuka, he's still sitting there. This is at home, and I will quickly jump, because I could hear him waking up, quickly jump behind him, and like in Verne, I would just hug him with my legs and my we were that playful, man. I would come out of the bathroom, and because he was very reserved, he was a quiet man, and I'll walk past him and I'll be like, hi Wena, spank me, ufuna teachers on his name, because he was a very reserved Tsonga man, and here I am, this Xhosa girl who's crazy. The things we used to do, man, I had so much playfulness. So whenever I went to him, especially I'll first, because in ICU, his room was all glass. So as I walk in, I'm praying as I'm walking down the passage. Please, Lord, let him be okay today. Let him be okay. And when I see him lying there with his eyes open, I'll walk in and I'll jump by, hey, ta-da, look who's here, your beautiful wife, you know. And I'll play music for him. I had my days, they knew me as Belelo sister. You know, I didn't even have visiting hours because I was there the whole time. I'll manicure his feet, pedicure his feet, wash his feet, massage him, do his hands, because why is tanned and you know, he would never stay with long nails and he never wanted that. So I made sure I used to put, because he couldn't even, I would feed him, but I always tried to make it fun, you know, make his life easy. And I remember every time I would leave, I'll be like, Baba, it's time to Sam, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I'll go. But as I go, I'll come back again and be like, ta-da, I'm back again, you know, type of thing. And then he'll be like, you mad, when he couldn't talk, but he will, you know, do like a lip thing. And it was the most painful 6 months. I would leave home at 10 in the morning and I would be back at home after 9 at night every day. I didn't want to lose a day with him, a moment with him. I'll get there, even if he's in a coma, I'll sit there and I'll talk, you know, I'll talk as if he's listening. I'll still continue as if it's okay. I'll just run to grab a drink or something to eat and sit on a little couch next to him. The sisters were amazing. The doctors were the greatest. Everyone just made sure we were both okay, you know. I remember the last day I saw him, he was lying there and I had so much hope because the previous day he was not okay. But that day he looked like he was up. He looked fine-ish. He looked fine in my heart. And but his hands were cold. They were ice cold. His feet were ice cold. His doctor pulled me aside. He says, Ruby, I'm not happy with him being so cold. Yes, his blood pressure is dropping. We can do something about it. But we've been injecting him with something to assist. But he's not getting better. I'm concerned. And I remember telling him, you can be concerned, but with God's children, he has the final word or final say. And he was watching well, I believe he was watching soccer because it was Pirates. I'm saying I believe because I've always wanted to believe what I wanted to believe.
Yes.
And
it keeps you safe.
Yeah. So he looked like he was watching. And I remember speaking to his dad because his dad came with me. He was always with me throughout. I mean, my parents would fly from Cape Town to go and see him and then they'll go back again. And I sent him a message. I said, he's fine. He's awake. You see, he's better than yesterday. Ganti uyaskata. We left and got a call an hour later, but not to me though. It went to my father-in-law. I could see him pacing up and down. And I'm like, what's wrong? I could sense something was wrong. What's wrong? Why are you pacing? And he's like, no, I'm trying to help someone in need. And I phoned the hospital. I said, what is happening? And when they heard it was my voice, everyone was running around. They didn't want to come and pick up the phone. And I knew, you know, but that was it. So when the one sister came, I said, is he gone? And he said, she said, who are you with? I said, is he gone? Tell me. And that was the end of my world as I know it. So, yeah. So that is how I lost half of my life. And then you realize as you're going through this, you know, how we as women, how we don't love each other. We don't love each other as women because I know that I was never my husband's mother's first choice, you know. I was never the chosen one. And he went for whom he loved. And he went where his heart directed him. And you start seeing people's true colors, man, you know, when there's a loss. you see how you get treated, you know, by people that you used to think would stand by you, you know. And I'm not even sending it to friends or anything. I'm keeping it in the family, you know. And it gets shown so violently. There were days when my mother-in-law would come and she'll say to him, "Uzophola wena mntanam, uzophola uwele back emzini wakho no mntanakho," you know.
And you're osabalo wena la.
No, Anbala, yeah, Anbala, like no, it didn't exist. And you know, hurtful things that are being said. And this is the person that knows umntanakhe is in safe hands. You know, you there with him every day. Every day. I packed my life, and with no regrets. With no regrets, because I think if I lost a day or two and not have seen him, I would have regretted it forever, you know. Sorry guys. So it is just sad how we treat each other, you know. Thank you. As women, when we go through situations, and yeah, where you think you'll find your help, you don't. Instead, you get it. And if you remember, when I started talking, I spoke about my daughter who said, "Why are you crying? We're here for you, you know, or I'm here for you." My kids stood by me. They stood by me. They became my rock and my wall. My father-in-law was there for me throughout. My parents, my friends, they were my stronghold, you know, during that whole period. And everyone else, I would rather not even elaborate about, you know, especially the things that I went through, leading to the funeral, during the funeral, and after the funeral. We had the funeral, we had 10 days, and during the 10 days, the other family didn't come. They had their own 10 days, which still baffles me, because how do you do that? Because Umngcwabo is...
And he's married.
He's married. He's married. His ex-girlfriend was there, old girlfriend. I guess she was the chosen one, gave forever, and well taken care of.
Chosen by the
family. by especially the lead, you know, yes. The mother, and she was there. Everyone, you know, just protected Angie, you know.
They protected her.
Yeah, they were all there with her while I was there, and the funeral was at my home, our home. And yeah, there was a bit of drama that that happened, but I will not go into it. So it is just sad how, like I said earlier, how we deal with pain and grief, and how we are so hell-bent on making sure that you will realize that I've never liked you, you know, by our actions. So yeah.
You know, there was one guest that we had. She said something that till now still resonate with me, when she said, when the mother-in-law loses their son, yes, they say these hurtful things.
Yeah.
They say these horrible things.
Yeah.
To the daughter-in-laws. It's because they want somebody to blame.
Yeah.
So I then said to her, but nam ngingane yomuntu.
Exactly.
Nam ngashiya abazali bami. Ngashiya everything that I wanted or I've built.
Exactly.
Ukuzohlala nomntanami.
Exactly.
So how is that I kill my husband who gets sick for 3 months?
Thank you.
That I'm with him forever. Married to him for 11 years. And then I kill him.
And you know, just to also add on to that, how do you kill someone who's in hospital?
Who's been there forever? 6 months.
Yeah.
In ICU.
Yeah.
That's half of a year.
Yeah. Yeah. And sure, I
How are you, Sissy? How are you?
You know, I read something 2 days ago, strangely enough, and it was by Tyler Perry, and he says that you can try and get too busy. You can try and do every other thing. You can try and drink to forget. You can try and, but you need to always remember that grief is waiting for you to be done. It's waiting for you to be done so that you get to deal with it eventually. So, how am I? I'm in pain. I'm in a lot of pain. I feel empty. I feel lost, man. I've never had to go to the shop since 2017, to the shops alone. I've never had to do certain things. I've never had to worry about petrol. I've never had to worry about, all those things that I get to worry about now. I've never had to worry about buying toiletries, and my husband will be in Lelene and my kids will be like, Sipelelose sanitary towels, and he will bring them. He knew what we all used in him. That was how involved he was in his family. And today I'm finding myself, the other day I went because someone broke a windscreen, and I went to go look for it, a scrapyard. It's not a windscreen, it's not a windscreen, it's that small window at the back of the car. And I was told that a scrapyard will have it cheaper, let me rather get it there. And I went to about 5 scrapyards, and the 6th one I went to, and everyone kept on saying, no, we don't have it, go. After the 5th person said, go. I remember I stood there in the middle of the and I screamed, and everyone is looking at me. I cried my lungs out, and I was saying, I'm not supposed to be doing this, It feels so unfair. It feels so unfair. It was such a short time with this man. It was such a short but amazing time. It feels like a lifetime. I think some of the things that get me going nowadays is I've found a spiritual medium, because we all look for things that heal us. And I've been connecting with my husband, through her. And the things she tells me, and it's a white woman, it's not like someone that knows us or anything. And the things she shares with us, or with me rather, and the things that, and she'll be like, your husband says, where you're sitting, he can see you looking at his picture, he knows that before you sleep. Like the things that she will tell me that make me believe that really, really, he is around me the whole time.
And that comforts you.
It comforts me, it heals me, but
that's what we need.
It is still so painful, it is still so painful. It's very early.
It's still early. It's been a year for me. I still cry every night.
Oh gosh.
I cry every night.
So, yeah, man, it was my first Christmas, and Christmas in Glen is always a big thing, we always splash. And I sat there, and I think around about 7, I just couldn't. I left everyone. I went in the room, I cried my lungs out with Ifotolake, because, I'm thinking, why? But then again, I answer myself because I also started writing. I mean, I've been writing now and again for years now. And part of the things that I write about, I remember flipping through the Bible and landed on Ecclesiastes 3. And it was almost like God saying, there's a time for everything. There's a time. So I laughed. I'm in mourning now, but that season again is Opiniboy. I'm going to be happy again. Yeah.
What will you say to a widow out there that has lost her husband 2022, 2021, 23, last week, lost a widow today when they're watching the show? What will you say? You have gone that road twice.
Yes. I think what I've always done, when I find out that someone has lost their husband, and I started doing this as a paying forward. When I lost my first husband, my aunt's friend wrote me a letter. She wrote me a letter about, you know, her beautiful story about her husband, how they loved each other, you know, and she wrote about how he passed and how she felt and how she's learning to survive right now, you know. And I found healing in that. I found healing in that because, you know, as Abantu, we always seek to be close to the person who understands your pain or knows your pain.
That's very true.
So I started writing letters to people, you know, when I find out that you've lost a husband in particular. And I will share my story, and I just find that it works. So that's what I would do, because I find it works.
So you will say, reach out to another fellow reader and then just find out, not because you are being nosy, but you just want to find out how are you coping.
Sure. But also, like I say, because we live by association, you want to share that I know your pain, I know what you're going through.
So
not even know,
not
you understand and you know because you feel it, you know.
Because you've experienced it.
Yeah, it's not like those people that will come and say, "Hi man, uzoba right, uzobona right." And I'm thinking, do you know what I'm going through? You know.
You don't even know.
Yeah. The other day, and I raised this Tyler Perry thing on purpose because we find different ways of healing. I you know, as the other day I finished a bottle of wine, ne? And the following day I finished a bottle of wine, and I'm saying to my daughter, "Oh, I'm getting worried. I finished a bottle of wine like 2 days, one after another." And she says, and this is my eldest, Futi, the wise one. Okay, they're both wise, but the wiser one. She says, "Mom, do you know the kind of year you've had? No one knows the kind of year you've had.
Not even us as the children.
You know?" And then she starts showing me, because I would send them pictures while I'm in hospital and videos. And I looked horrible. I looked grey. But I didn't even care at the time, because my primary thing was to be there, to be by my husband, you know, until he came back home. And she says, "Don't judge yourself. Do what you think you need to do, and then you'll pull out of it when you're ready." So we cope differently. And I think another thing I will say to that widowed woman is, don't judge yourself. Do what you believe works for you, because in every situation in life, you take and make decisions based on what you're going through at that particular moment. And you shouldn't be labeling yourself for that.
You know, my slogan this year is, I say to women, unfortunately this has been a very emotional for me. So for me is to say, "Gehambek." It's been a year for me. And I always, whenever I hear that kunomama, kunentombazane, kunosisi oselahlekelwe umyeni, I wish I can just take that pain, because ngithi sengijwayele. So sisi kuyahambeka. Ruby, kuyahambeka. Uzohamba sis, uzoba right. As long as you've got God on your side. Kuzohambeka. And you've got the other widows. And then we share this pain. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming to be vulnerable with us. Thank you for making me cry.
Thank you for making me in the body. Thank you so much,
Sissy, for coming to work with PK. We really appreciate it, and we're hoping and trusting that one day we will heal together.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Thank you so much.
Falling forward.
Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.